Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Grandpa Birch here. Hey, I got another story time for you. Today's is The Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat by Stan and Jan Berenstain. The Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat. Even little bears expect a good fright when they go out for treats on Halloween night. The Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat by Stan and Jan Berenstain. The sights and sounds of autumn were all around us as Mama Bear pushed her shopping cart along the path that led to Bear's family treehouse. Oh, look at the treehouse over here. The trees and shrubs were ablaze with color. Farmer Ben's pumpkin stood bright orange in the October sun. The crows cawed noisily as they searched the stubble for bits of corn. Wild geese in great V formation honked high in the sky as they flew south. But the surest sign of the season was inside the treehouse, hiding behind Papa Bear's easy chair. It was Brother Bear waiting to try out his Halloween costume on Mama. It wasn't Halloween yet, but brother and sister couldn't wait to try their new costumes. Sister was going to be a beautiful ballerina. Oh, look at the ballerina over here with sister. Well, what do you think? She asked, talking to the third position. Shh, said brother. Mama's coming. Mama's coming. Brother had chosen to be a spooky monster on Halloween. See him down there in the corner? He had brought the spookiest monster mask he could find, and Mama made the rest of the costume. Oh my. Boo! He shouted as Mama came through with the groceries. Help! A monster! She cried, pretending to be frightened. It's only me, Mama, he said, showing his face. Oh, so it is, said Mama. Well, that just goes to show you that appearances can be deceiving. Appearances can be deceiving. What's that mean? Asked sister. It's just grown-up way of saying that things aren't always the way they look like, explained Mama as she unpacked the groceries. Look, goodies, said brother. Hands off, please, said Mama. Those are for trick-or-treaters who come by our house tomorrow night on Halloween. Brother and sister were very excited about Halloween and a little nervous too. This was the first year that they would be going trick-or-treating without a grown-up along to supervise. I'm not so sure I'd like the idea of them going by themselves, said Papa. As he carved the pumpkin he got from Farmer Ben. He's carving the pumpkin out. It's pretty spooky out there, he added, making a scary face at the cubs. Roar! Ah, Papa. Now, Papa, said Mama. If brother and sister want to accept the challenge of going out on their own, I think we should encourage them. But remember, she continued, turning to the cubs, there'll be strict rules. You'll stay in your own neighborhood, and you won't eat any of the treats until you're back home. Besides, said brother, we won't really be by ourselves. We made a trick-or-treat date with Cousin Freddie, Lisa Bruin, and Quinny McBear. They're going as a team. And there's Papa with his jack-o'-lantern. There, said Papa, putting the finishing touches on the jack-o'-lantern. Then he lit a candle inside it and turned out all the lights. It was pretty scary. Yikes! Look at that jack-o'-lantern. The next day, brother and sister began planning the trick-or-treat route they'd follow that night. Brother got a pencil and paper and made a map of the neighborhood. That way, he explained, they wouldn't miss anybody. Let's see now, he said. We'll stop at our houses first. Ours, Freddie's, Lisa's, and Queenie's. Then we'll do Farmer Ben's. And our sister's, Mrs. Grizzle. Miss Grizzle for sure, agreed Sister. She usually makes special Halloween cookies. And Teacher Jane. She gives out good stuff. How about Dr. Grizzly? Asked Brother. She's into health snacks. I think so. Just to be polite, said Sis. Gramps and Gran, of course. Of course, Gramps and Gran. I'll tell you one place we're going to miss, said Brother, holding his map. What place is that? Asked Sister. That one, he answered, pointing out the window at the home of an old Miss McGriz. It was a spooky, twisted old treehouse in a thicket at the end of Crooked Lane. We're definitely not going there, he added with a shiver. Look at that old treehouse at the end of Crooked Lane. Why ever not? Asked Mama, who was listening. Why not? Said the cubs. Because she's a witch, that's why not. Uh-oh. That's utter nonsense, protested Mama. True, Miss McGriz is an old and bent and rather formidable looking, but I can assure you she's a perfectly nice person. But the cubs didn't believe her. Not for a minute. They knew better. Everybody knew better. No doubt about it, Miss Grizz was a witch for sure. Just after dark, a pirate, a skeleton, and a wicked queen from Snow White came for Brother and Sister. We're taking you away. Look at them. They were Freddie, Lisa, and Queenie, of course, and together they ventured out into the darkness with their trick-or-treat bags. Looky, looky. Before they could get started collecting Halloween goodies, they were joined by some worrisome company. Too Tall Grizzly and his gang out for mischief. Too Tall didn't waste any time trying to get Brother and Sister and their friends to go along with him and his gang. Come on. We'll show you goodies how to have some real fun. Halloween fun, he said, pulling Brother along with him. What sort of fun? Asked Brother warily. You might say we're going to put the trick back in trick-or-treat, he said, chuckling. It was so dark that Brother and the others didn't notice where they were heading. Hey, said Sister, this is Crooked Lane. Uh-oh. That's right, said Too Tall. We're going to play a few tricks on the old witch McGriz. What sort of tricks? Asked Brother. Her gnarled, twisty old treehouse loomed ahead. First, whispered Too Tall, taking a roll of toilet paper from his jacket. We'll decorate her house with a little of this, and maybe we'll tie a few knots in her clotheslines, and then smear some honey on her broomstick so she'll stick to it when she tries to fly. That's so mean. But before Too Tall and his gang could start their mischief, the front door opened and a bright yellow light stabbed the darkness. And there in the doorway stood a frightening figure of old Miss McGriz. She said in a gravelly voice. I'm ready for you now. I'm ready. Bring it on. Look at him. He's scared. She then had the terrified cubs into a she then led the terrified cubs into a cozy living room. To their great surprise, there was a big tray of beautiful candy apples, all prepared for Halloween visitors. "Mama was right," whispered Sister to the brother. "McGrizz is really a sweet, kind old person." The cubs thanked her for the beautiful apples and went about the rest of their trick-or-treat business. Look at all the trick-or-treaters and the apples, the candy apples. Later that evening, brother and sister were at home looking over the treats they had collected. The beautiful candy apples stood out, and Papa asked where they came from. "From Miss Grizz," answered brother. "From that scary-looking old grouch puss that lives down the crooked lane," said Papa. "That's right," said brother, taking a delicious bite of his candy apple. "You must really try to remember, Papa," said sister, giving her an apple a little lick. "Appearances can be quite deceiving." And that is the end of the story. All right. What did you think of the Berenstain Bears Trick or Treat? All right. Bye for now. And remember, Grandpa Birch thinks you're special.